We meet here today to honor and pay tribute to the amazing lives of those being buried before us. Some had promising futures and others died a sudden and rather tragic death, killing the hopes and dreams of many people along with them. And while words cannot express the sadness of losing these amazing items, you can take solace knowing that they will never have to be involved in the utter piss fest of broken nonsense that is on the verge of entering this game. Now one of Frozen Mallet's very best friends, possibly the main advocate for his life, reached out to me and wanted to know if he could share some words about this grave loss. Boy, go ahead. It's okay, I know it's tough to get it out right now. Why don't you start by saying how you felt about this item when it was still alive?
It's been what I think about all the time.
That's sweet. And how is your sorrow now that it's gone?
You know, it's something that has been progressively getting worse and worse and worse.
And you suspect there was foul play involved in its death?
I know this for a fact.
Well, did you report it as a crime?
There's no point of even reporting people because Riot won't ban them. No one is scared of getting in trouble.
And how would you describe the experience coping with this loss?
I have basically had the worst experience of my life.
I feel that. Any last words you would like to leave us with?
Riot, please help us. Thanks.
Beautifully said, Voy, and I hope Patrick Starfish knows how lucky he is to be sewn on so close to your crotch. Now words can't adequately express these amazing lives, so I decided to honor them with a few games where I built nothing but these items. First on Ezreal, which honestly just felt like an awkward smorgasbord of random items containing zero synergy together, but it was still a meaningful experience. And then I let Tiny Dumbledore out of the cage to give a full build of these bad boys, one last massive banging in a series of events that somehow led to me, with 21 kills, still getting flamed by some random Ronnie. But you know what the wise men have proclaimed about toxicity in this game.
It's a really big problem, and I think enough is enough.
So if you would like to join me in honoring these lost items, please kindly show your respect by stabbing the piss out of that like button and subscribing to my channel for more, and let's get into some somber gameplay. The first game I decided to rock Ignite Dark Harvest Twinkle shit, and typically that wouldn't be an issue, but unfortunately my support must have been tied up and waterboarded until she agreed to give up First Blood, because no other scenario can explain the reasoning behind her decision to peep her little fragile nips out of the bushes and say, "Hi, take me now please," to which they say, "If you insist, but only if you burn your flash first," and of course she obliges and then gives them their well-deserved advantage. So when she gets back to lane, I ask if she is still being held captive and forced to feed, to which she nods no, and I say, "Great, then tie that cocky gun slut up so I can tap dance on those ghost jizz slurping tits to even this playing field a bit." Unfortunately, after a few more minutes of me looking into this blonde chick's backstory, I come to realize that she was lying about being forced to feed, and she actually just has a severe brain cell deficiency, resulting in her continuing her death warm-up in preparation for a performance that you guys and gals will not forget. And this forces me to give gun rights Melania Trump a much needed message that my support may have the intelligence of a drunk deer carcass, but that doesn't mean I do too, as I slap that arrogant smirk right off her dead face. But that tight blonde piece of ass didn't put her wizard costume on just to feed 3 times and call it a day, so she carelessly runs into the shrubs requesting a fierce sunburn. But this wouldn't be the first time I had an epileptic goldfish as my support, so I am not too worried at this point. That said, their top laner is playing detective and has spoiled my identity, asking about my build, probably wondering why Rift Alexa has been rapid fire blabbering Lux's obituary on repeat, but I inform her that it's for reasons being the fact that my support skull is too full of Belle Delphine's bath water to have room for any functional meninges. So I decide to go mid to get away from that feeding test tube of a support, and things get spicy when that tiny astronaut gets caught staring at some fox's tits. And one thing leads to another, and before you know it, an upright ram is being shit out of a dead hamster's asshole right in front of us. Needless to say, he dies, and then thanks to a few fizzle ticklers out of my index finger, the shield slut follows him back to fountain. Ninetales dashes away like a certified pussy, but unfortunately for her I've got my credit card info saved in Amazon system, so I prime order her the thickest translucent banana to go. Then knee nibbling Armstrong decides to venture down bot alone, and I just know that spoon-fed hoe and her oversized stapler will try and take advantage of him. So I stop down and issue a commanding ring pop to collect a sizable paycheck thanks to all the free Lux bucks she was awarded early game. Turns out no one taught blind Rocky Balboa how to share as a kid, so when he sees the red ram playing with his blue buff he immediately steals it back for himself. This doesn't go over well and results in their jungle going on an anus excursion as I suffer a bad sunburn while Lux and Senna see who can hit less enemies with their ults. I flash to get away from Miss Gorilla Glue support but she isn't done stun locking me apparently as she rides her protracted wiener into danger, letting 4 of us pile up on her until she eventually pisses off. Big surprise, my support is off by herself dying again, so I am trying to take advantage of some alone time bot lane when I notice the boys are up to no good, so I blindly send over one of my 1800-pound nanners in case someone gets hungry. Apparently it was the talk of the party as a few of them ate more of it than they would have liked, insisting to pay me for sending it. Then I do a quick roam up north because the blind kickboxer hasn't learned not to antagonize violent rams wielding weapons, so I come in and do all the work so that Professor Akali can swoop in and take the credit. My team is like a group of horny high schoolers at a brothel, they just can't keep their flailing wieners in their pants, so another pointless teamfight breaks out, forcing me to interrupt my relaxing PvE, so I come in and ask Ari where half her health went before banana bombing the group. Solari shit tits flashes away from giving me the kill credit in lieu of rewarding the clickbaiters instead. This leaves just Reaper Randy alone as the Sonic shitter lands a blueberry, and I am thinking easy money until the moron drop kicks his own dinner away to safety. But luckily for him I execute plan punish the pussy with a prompt shift shitter for the kill. That said, this is Goldie low, so it's about that time for Summoner's Rift to channel its inner A-Ram as the cocky gun slut comes up expecting to collect some more free Lux bucks only to get crystal cucked and Bursty Boy comboed by yours truly. My support gets caught by Miss 37 stuns, but luckily she is worth like 3.5 gold at this point and I have more dodge than a Durango, so I stick around waiting for this to turn into a double date. Boxing Blindy shows up and hits a fox dash to provoke her flash, and then I come in to call her trash and take her cash. Then Solari shit tits bites my finger, and this hoe is so sticky you would have thought she just rolled around in Dr. Pepper and jizz puddles for the last hour, so I promptly kite away, opting to contribute to her homicide from a safe distance instead. I almost have my full tribute build completed when Inspector Gadget's wife comes flying in saying sticks and stones may break my bones but apparently turrets will never hurt me. Thankfully blind Rocky Balboa comes in with a few jabs to salvage the shitfest and punish her for such reckless behavior. But she apparently doesn't learn her lesson as she overextends again, so we do a team building exercise to see how many people it takes to kill a 4 and 10 top laner. The answer turns out to be 5, and this lines us up to have an advantage, but unfortunately my teammates then go on to take a social distancing friendly approach to teamfighting where only one of them can go in at a time, no less than 6 feet apart from each other, resulting in a single file orchestrated genocide of my hopes and dreams of winning this game, and it's only appropriate for this sad tribute of items to end in a sad way. I decide to honor Lux purely out of sympathy, knowing that anyone capable of going 0-16 in a game must not have much else going for them, and then I decided to hop straight into a second on Tiny Dumbledore as there were a few more items that I needed to pay my respects to. And this one is off to another great start considering my Warwick bought 2 anal beads instead of a jungler item, so buckle up chumps, we're in for a battle. But the first few lane waves go well, and as a result Lantern Larry isn't feeling too hot, so I ask my support to Ice Claw Uber her way in. And I follow up by putting him in a rainbow ring before lighting him on fire and waving my giant weed wand around a few times to get my pot of gold. Jin wants to keep it taco, and so I want to keep his health low until he gets a false sense of safety from his statue, and then I say voila, meet my colorful cage and eat from the purple shit of the sky. This leaves that loser and his lantern all alone, so I tell Miss Ice to roll the dice, and she goes in just to get chain bang tossed around and melted by that laser. Which honestly was kind of good for me because that bony bitch still died to my ignite, and then I got to hobble around and collect the plate gold all to myself. I now have my GLP #RIP, so I cage cut the counting Dracula, and then me and my support give him 4 reasons why playing an ADC in Season 10 comes with its challenges. This then prompts a goose chase, but instead of a goose it's a rotted walking cadaver clinging to his little cage lamp. I jerk off my ping button knowing that the mini-map is invisible in my ELO unless it makes a lot of noise, and then we catch up. I order a 2-for-1 rainbow stun special which scares the living flash out of that wall-humping ram, and then I pepper the skeleton a few times until my next Q popper is ready to come out and play. Then we come back bot lane because that number shouting moron is droning on about not having enough content for his day in the life of an ADC vlog, so we agree to help out. But apparently that's not enough for him, as he immediately comes back and wanders into the danger zone as my support goes in for a frigid FAP attack, and I inform this man that flashing into a stun has the same effect as walking into it. Then I hold onto my ult like it'll accrue interest or something, opting to burn my flash instead so I can smell his ass crack one last time. But no ice cubes were harmed in the production of this shit fest until we resume our focus on vandalizing this statue, which I guess is a cause worth fighting for, as Bony Billy burns everything to let us know that such behavior won't be tolerated, and I finally decide to cash in on my ult investment from earlier to claim some more liquid assets. Then I opt to take a trip up top because there can only be one annoying ass little hobbling midget on the rift, but that little gerbil gets feisty, and I get annoyed, so I opt to hit my win fight button to put an end to it. I catch Talon and Kane arguing about if jumping over walls is better than riding through them, and the fight is just so petty that I tic-tac paddywhack send the dumb ram home before joining the group just in time to see this bald cartographer rip the rest of my team's anus in half, so I quick combo him and light him on fire, waiting for Rift Alexa to announce my name, but she never does, leaving me with just 1 blue buff and 2 blue balls as a result. But it's nothing a little hamster homicide can't fix, as I run over and politely remind him for a second time to please get the hell off my rift. Our jungler gets caught in the act of contesting that little area between tier 2 and inhibitor turret, forcing me to run in and pour my frosty tic-tacs on the ground to bail him out. I put 2 mouth breathers in the circle of shame, and as the sky whiffs a Zeus deuce, Talon comes holding his ult until he is dead as I tap R to say sayonara sucker, now I'm outie. Wolfie leaves me in a 2v1 mid, but I don't carry around this giant ass 4-leaf clover to not test my luck, so I stick around to inform Thresh that dancing too close to a fire when it's 3 levels higher is a bad idea, and then I tie him up and murder him. A bit later and we are just setting up for a drag that will be spawning in 4.5 minutes as that spitballing shitbag reveals himself begging to be apprehended, so we oblige, which gives my floating fashion avalanche the great idea to make a generous donation to the Make a Dead Bitch Foundation. Luckily I snuck a purple sky deuce into the chaos to ruin Reaper Randy's day, but my support still gave us his G's to their entire team. I catch this Dora the Explorer creepy bald simp and his map out in the wild, and the word legendary has been tossed around a few times to describe his performance, so I hit him with a chilly tic-tac barrage before shame circling him and calling in an army to blow their ults to take him down. Then I hobble my way out of the triangle of terror because 1 was enough for me, and I know that mouth breather typically counts all the way to 4. Okay, so I am willing to admit that I cucked myself a bit in this next play. It all starts out like any other normal fight in League of Legends, with the ADC getting caught and obliterated without doing anything useful, and then I guess it's my lucky day because the grieving gerbil comes in saying he found over 300 gold and wants to give it to me. But then what I thought at the time was a Jhin trap being triggered turned out to be the summoning portal for that hyperfed overgrown fetus, and he makes a quick meal out of my ass. Then I am just lurking and preparing for the dragon steel that will be studied in history books for decades, but the bladed butt muncher here doesn't realize that attacking a disabled ward gives vision at the worst time, which blows my cover, gets the loser lassoed, and forces me to blow all my big wizard dick energy on their support, leaving me with just a zoning Zeus deuce to peel the rest of them off. This unsurprisingly prompts the grumpy gimps to try and give up and hide from their failures, but Mama Rav didn't raise no bitch. Talon joins my pursuit just to set a world record for least damage done by a full assassin combo to an ADC in the history of this dumb game, which results in a sad 1-for-1 trade. But I later catch up to this tiptoeing pistol spinning psychopath a minute later as he proceeds to flash, fueling his flee in the entirely wrong direction as I chase, wishing there was some way for me to catch up a little faster, like any way at all. But it's okay because I eventually get in range to hit my go back to fountain bitch button, and my Spellbinder charge lives to see another day. Now I fast forwarded through a series of miserable events, resulting in them now having both Baron and Infernal Soul, and my team still trying to be a posse of quitting pussies. But if you want a hint as to why things started falling apart, maybe my Lissandra flashing straight into danger by herself or my Talon blowing a full combo to do -12 damage can help paint the picture. I managed to stay out of the immediate danger, spamming my shit from the back line and taking 2 of them out, but despite me having a good game, I am once again reminded that there is no I in team, but when it comes to League of Legends, your teammates provide all 4 eyes in inting idiots, and just in case you forget this was League, I am the one getting flamed for holding my ult in a fight where the first 2 enemies didn't need it, and the remaining 3 were all still sparkly full health due to my peers having a who's more pathetic contest with each other. So there you have it, 2 sad games to commemorate and honor the sad deaths of these truly loved items. You will be dearly missed. Now if you enjoyed my commentary over the god-awful gameplay in the background, Please kindly like and subscribe to this channel for more, as the script for each of these videos is over 10 pages long, and writing 10-page papers multiple times a week makes me tired and in need of your praise like a spoiled little prick. Also check out my second channel for lower effort nonsense if you are interested in weird builds, bad fails and off-meta bot lanes that provide a nice change of pace to this toxic piss pit of a game. As always, shout out to the Patreon supporters for keeping the lights on in this igloo. Pet your dog, jerk your ween, don't go 0-16 in your games, and brush your teeth tonight. Rav out.